Hello, Nigel here with you, Nigel's Modelling Bench. Welcome aboard. Here we are now with part 5, pack 5 of the build of the beautiful DeAgostini Ferrari 330 P4. And as you can see, what a beautiful car it is. So here we have pack 5, and as you can see, we've got lots going on here. We've got half an engine block, we've got a distributor, a cap and everything down here. We've got all these little connectors, and then we've got some screws, a photo etch part there. And we've also got parts from our previous parts to, or previous sections, previous packs to build up to this, in this as well. So lots and lots going on in this one. So as usual, going in the magazine, if you want to get one of these or find out how to get yourself one, please use the link in the description below the video. I get nothing back for it, but it just lets DeAgostini know how many people are going to, you know, see the model following watching my videos, and then they'll keep sponsoring me. So basically, here we go. So we're starting with the magazine here. We've got all the credits and everything down here, and customer services and everything. I hear that the DeAgostini customer services are very, very good. I haven't needed to use them myself. As you know, I'm also doing the massive 1/6 scale Mustang as well, which is an absolute beauty. So yeah, go have a look at that one as well if you haven't already. So the origins of the World Championship. So in 1953, the first edition of a new championship was organised. And opening and closing races of the season would be held in America, although the rest of it was in Europe. In this way, two very different worlds met. And here you can see Giannino Marzotto and Marco Crosara at the start of the 1953 Mille Miglia, which they won with a Ferrari 340 Mille Miglia Spider Vignale. There you go. So very interesting, 1953, all those years ago. Some more lovely images there. And then here we've got the 166mm, which we talked about in the last version. So we've got some nice detailed drawings there of the engine and chassis and everything. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous. There we go. Looking lovely. You've got those weird air intakes on the top with the single carburettor. Look. There's the start of the race by the look of it. First in Luxembourg, the Luxembourg Grand Prix on May the 26th, 1949. The Ferrari 166mm number 15 with Luigi Villaresi at the wheel beat the BMW 328 of Andrew and Hanno Wagner, who had to settle for second and third place respectively. So there we go. There's one coming into a corner there, driver there sitting way up prone in the seat. And there we are, some lovely images. And then we're on to the actual build. So we can get the pack open as we always do and check our parts. So we've got a section of parts here with some screws and things. Remember, we've got parts we're going to be using from our last build as well, from our last part, which was pack 4. So that's interesting. If I could get the bloody bag open, it'd be good. Call yourself a modeler, you can't even open a bag. Oh, come on. Right. So we'll get rid of that and get that in the recycling. And then we'll open this tray up. At least we don't have to cut around the base of the tray on this one. And there we go. We've got some more bits and pieces on top of there. So that can go over there out of the way. And we've got our tray of parts here. And you can see we've got 5B, 5C, 5D, 5G, 5F, 5H is in a bag there, and there's 5E, and then we've got this sprue here with all these different connectors. Be very wary when you look at these. They are different. You can see that you have all of these connectors here look the same, but then the last 3 are different. You can see they are a different shape, this last 3, so be very careful of that. Be wary of what it is you're looking at. So we've got AAP screws, we've got KP screws, AP screws, MP screws. We've got screws from the last one, and we've got a piece of photo etch metal there. I think there's a piece of photo etch metal. It certainly looks like it. So there we go. So, and an engine half, of course. I missed that out, didn't I? So what are we doing first of all? Let's have a look in the magazine. So first of all, we've got to get pieces of hose here. We've got our hose here from part 4, and we've got to cut the hose into 3 segments of 50, 70 and 130mm lengths. So first thing to do, I think, is to get it straightened out, and maybe we don't need to use the ends. Let's see, this end's better than the than the other end. This end here is a bit sort of chewed up, as you can see, because it's been rolled up into a curve. I'm guessing putting it in hot water would help. But 50, 70 and 130, so that's 120, so that's 250 millimeters. I've got a rule here, and we have about 320 millimeters. So what we'll do is we'll use the rule and we'll cut a 130 from here. Okay, so we'll go to there. So there's 130. And then we'll get a 50 and a 70. There we go. And we don't have to use then this squiggly bent up bit from the end. So there's 130, 150 and 70. Okay, so that's that done. Pass the 130 segment through two holes in the upper part of the right hand side of the gearbox 4A. So that's this bit here. No, that's this bit here. So we're going to pass it through two holes in the upper parts of there. So that the front end is slightly longer than the rear, photo B. So we're looking at photo B. Okay, so we've got this tube is going to go through this hole here. Easier to pass it through that way, wouldn't it? So we'll pass that through there. And then we'll pass that through there. Like so. We want the front to be slightly longer. I'm assuming this is the front. We can always adjust it afterwards if we need to. Fit the 50 and 70 millimeter segments onto the connector 4K and attach them to the two sensor pins, photo C. Attach the two ends of the 130 segment, pass through the holes on the right hand side of the gearbox to the two remaining free pins, photo D. So we've got the connector 4K. Dottie's about to start barking. So we've got this, I put this piece in here with the screws, because we're going to be using these AM screws as well in this part. You can hear Dottie's going to have a go in a minute. Okay, so I've done as instructed on there. Basically you've got this one length of tube that you've put through, that goes onto the V pins, and then we've got the 70 millimeter coming out of the back and the 50 millimeter coming out of the front. So you can see those hoses are all connected up like that, and they push on. They're a lovely snug fit, beautiful, very nice. So take the left hand part of the gearbox and attach it to the right hand part with two AM screws. So that's going to go together like that. You can see that slots together there beautifully. So we're going to grab our screwdriver and an AM screw. I think I've got the wrong screwdriver, haven't I? Yes, I have. There's the little one. Okay, we're going to put a screw into there. Just screw that in, tighten it up. It's metal to metal, so you can actually pull it down a bit without risking breaking anything. And I have previously cut the threads as well. So that's going together like that. Okay, so that's gone together. Now we're going to retrieve the side panel 4E and using light pressure place it on the right hand part of the gearbox. Attach the free end of the 70 millimeter piece of tubing to the pin on the gear shift cover 4G photo C. So we're going to push this on here, and that is literally going to push on just like that. There we go. So that's literally push fitted into place. And then it says attach the 70 millimeter piece of tubing, which is this one here. We're going to attach that to this pin on the top of the, I'm assuming these are breather hoses. So that's going to push over that plastic pin there. I'm going to be careful not to break that pin off. The end of this pipe's kinked, so pushing it straight is difficult. Here we go, it's starting to go now. You can use tweezers, but the trouble is when you use tweezers you tend to crush the pipe. The other thing you can do is get some warm water, just warm the pipe up, and it'll go on a lot easier. Which I think I may well have to do, because what's happening here is I'm pushing it and it's just kinking. I think what I'm going to do is just cut the end off, because it's got this kink on the very end. So I'm just going to cut that off. It's going to shorten it by about 2 millimeters. That's fine. It should make it a lot easier to push on. There we go. Yeah, it's gone now. There we go, that's on there. So there's our, I'm assuming they're breather pipes, as I say. So that's our gearbox then. Attach the free end of the assembly to the gear shift cover 4G. Right, so that's that done. Okay, so that's now, we can put that to one side. That's our transmission. Now we can start looking at the distributor. Okay, so part 3, separate the 2 coil cable connectors 5J from the sprue. Okay, so this here is the sprue. And you can see here we've got these, as I said, they've got these coil connectors on the end which are different. So we're going to cut 2 of these off. Alright, so we've got some little cutters. You could use a knife, you could use, I would thoroughly recommend getting yourself some cutters if you are getting into these part works or model building or whatever. These are the God Hand ones. You can get the Tamiya ones, and you can also get cheaper ones like this. You know, ones which are, you know, they're very much cheaper than these, but they do the same job. They just don't last as long, really, I guess. But there you go. You can have a look on Amazon, have a look on eBay. There's lots of modelers, nippers you can get. Separate the 2 coil cable connectors from the sprue. The 5J connectors are longer than the spark plug cable connectors. Mount the 2 connectors on the center pins of the distributor cap 5E. Then separate the 12 spark plug cable connectors and fit them as shown in photo D. There are extra connectors as spares. It's nice they always give you these extra parts. I wish all manufacturers did that. So we've got these coil connectors. So these parts have got a hole in one end. Let me get the light on actually now that we've finished looking at the magazine. We've got a hole in one end and we've got the pins on here, so that's just literally going to push on like that. So there we go, and then this one here is going to go on the pin next to it. So much like the 917 I've built, they have 2 coil connectors. So instead of like a normal distributor cap with 1 central connector, they have 2. Interesting. Right, and then now we've got to get 12 of these off. So we've got one, we've got, hang on, we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We've got 14 of those. So we've got a couple of spares. So we'll remove 12 of these. As that, you can hear my clock is telling us it's 12 o'clock as we remove 12 of those. Okay, so there's 2, 4, 6. Then we'll turn this around. No, we don't want that one, we want this one. As you can see, we can push these cutters right up to the side of the part, and then we don't have any cleanup to do. So we've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. I'll tell you what, I'm going to cut that one off of there. There's 12, and then I can cut this sprue here. We'll keep those as spares, and I can cut that sprue there. I'll keep that one as spares, and that can go in the bin. So these are now going to go on these 12 pins around the outside of the distributor, like so. Okay, so you can see that one's on there, and you've got the 2 central ones on there. So I'll get the rest of them on, and then I'll come back. Okay, so we've got the distributor cap done there with the 12 connectors and everything on it, all looking dandy. So there we are. It's very nice, this. I mean, it's very nice they've got those connectors on there. It would look even better if the distributor cap was Bosch and it was that red colour. But we should see. So moving on now, we've got step 4. It says take the spark plug ring 5H. Get the box out of the way and move the magazine over. Take the spark plug ring 5H and distributor base 5C and an MP screw, which is there. Align the hole on the ring with the hole in the distributor base as shown and turn it to the right, fix in place with the MP screw photo B. So you can see here basically what we're going to do is put this on here. In fact, I'm going to arm my screwdriver first with the screw. So we'll get that on there. And then we'll put the ring in position on the distributor base and hold that together like that, and put the screw into the hole like so. And it's a plastic screw, so it's just got to be wound in. It's a little bit tight, that's nothing to worry about. I'm not sure if we've got to leave this loose or have it tight or what, but what I'll do is I will just turn it to the right, it says. So we're going to have it like that and just come over to the right, just like so. And we'll tighten our screw down. There we are. Okay, so there it is fitted like that. Okay, so now we're going to take distributor shaft 5B, which is here. We're going to take our part there 5C, 5D, which is here, and that is the distributor body, and we want an AP screw. So we've got AP screw here, there's 2 in there, so we're going to have 1 spare, so we'll get 1 out. Oh, come on, leave 1 in the bag. Okay, so we've got those parts there. All the distributor parts have tabs and notches to ensure correct alignment with each other. Photo A. Insert the shaft into the base, then mount the base on the body and connect the 3 components with the screw AP. Right, so we've got this is the actual 5B, this is the distributor base, and then we're going to take 5C, and that's going to go on, so you can see we've got a square lug on there, so that's going to go into that hole, so that's going to sit like that. And then we've got the actual main distributor body, and that's going to go on like that. So we've got a peg on there and a notch in there, so that's going to go into there like so, and the middle is going to pick up in that bore. So once we get that all to pick up together, that's it. And then we are going to take an AP screw, which I should have locked and loaded before I started. And then we're going to put that screw into there and just put all this down together. It's not very easy to hold it all together while you screw it in, so probably best to just nip it up, check it's all in the right place, and then if it isn't, just undo it a bit. But there we go, that's it pulled in. So we've got the AP screw there holding it all together. So there's our distributor built up, looking all lovely, nicely detailed. And then coming over the page, we're going to continue assembling the distributor by taking the bracket 5G and a KP screw. Okay, so we've got our KP screw here. That's that in there. And then basically place them next to the assembly you've just made. Fit the bracket to the shaft 5B and base 5C with this KP screw. So I'm not sure if this is going to hold that screw. no it's not. We're going to use our little Tamiya screwdriver, like so. And then we're going to fit this bracket into there. You can see on here there is a little raised area and it's got a cutout in it on there, and that's going to fit over that tab. So that's going to go like that, and then we can get the KP screw into there. Just do it up. So there's that part. That's obviously the mounting or something. Well, they call it a bracket. Just going to pull it down until so it's firm. There we go. Okay, and now take the fixing plate 5F. Fixing plate 5F and an AAP screw. This one's tiny. Fit the plate to the bracket 5G by interlocking the elements, then fix in distributor with the AAP screw. So we're going to grab the screw, get ourselves locked and loaded. Going to fit that bracket. So you can see here we've got a little tab on there which is going to interlock into that recess on there. So that's going to go in like that. It's right complex at assembly this, isn't it? You'd have thought they just moulded it out of one piece of plastic, but nope, they've made it all nicely detailed for us. So that screw's going to go into there, he says. Get the screw started and then we'll worry about alignment after. There we go, that bracket's in there. Just going to nip that screw down a bit more to get that to stay in place. So there you can see there's that assembly all done. Okay. And then retrieve the easy of you to say. Retrieve the distributor cap 5E, and after orientate it correctly, use the tabs and grooves, fit it by pushing it down lightly onto the distributor assembly. So we've got, there's a tab in there. You probably can't see it because it's all black, but there's a tab in there, and there's a groove in there. So that's going to get aligned into there like that, and then we're going to push that down onto there. Just like so. And it's quite a firm push, so if you are not very strong or you have issues with your hands, you might want to get someone else to do it for you. That needs quite a little push on there. I wouldn't recommend pushing on those because you might break them off. So push it from the sides. And there we go. And there is our distributor complete. And what a lovely looking thing that is, isn't it? A lovely little piece of machinery. So there we are. So that's step 5, and I'm assuming June's, maybe the end of June, beginning of July, we'll get another one. But there we go. That's our parts completely done. All put together and ready to go. So there we are. Thank you for watching. I will see you all in a couple of weeks, about 4 weeks, for another one, and we'll go from there. So thank you for watching. As I say, if you want to get yourself one of these, it is a beautiful, beautiful model. Go and have a look on the link, as I said, in the description below the video, and find out all about it. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.